Okay folks, so this is part 2 of the blueprinting pickup. So this is a bit where we get to carry a score over from the pickup object into our player character. So here's where we left the pickup blueprint last. What we need to do is just leave a bit of space here for a couple of nodes, and I'm just going to snap that link, leave a bit of space, and we can leave that for the moment. So I'm just going to compile it and go to our character. So third person, first person or vehicle, doesn't really matter. Just the owner of the score effectively. Okay, so I'm just going to drag in a score. This is a ready-made variable. So if you want to make your own, you just hit the plus variable, call it score, and make sure its type is integer, which is this sort of medium green. These are the two variables are part of the blueprint already. So if I hold down Control, it's a getter. And if I hold down Alt and drag again, it's then a set, which is what we need to do. But we need some information to work with. So here's how to set up a communication channel for any other blueprint to drop in some information into this script. Okay, so here, let's zoom in a bit. I'm going to right click here and do add custom event. So this is like the type of event, instead of being on tick, which is every frame, or on play when the game starts, or on overlap, begin. This is our own thing that happens when a pickup is picked up. Okay, so this is a set of instructions that's carried out once anything is picked up, but of course it's sent to this script here from another blueprint. Okay, so we'll join this to here. So we've got this score value, and we need to add it to something. We need to add it to the information that comes in from whatever's been picked up. Okay, so we need to select picked up, our custom event, and give it a new input. And it comes ready-made as integer in my case. You might need to click this and select the integer type, and we're going to give it a suitable name. So we'll call it picked value. So this is just a name for the communication wire effectively. So we need to add our picked value to the ready-made value for score, and if we click on score, see its current default value is 0, so that's how it is at the start of the game. So to add an integer to an integer, type in integer and then choose from the alternatives given. So we add our picked value to our score and set a new score. Okay, so now we've got a value built, ready, and there's a couple of things we can do with it. The first thing to do with it is show the tester what value that currently is. So I can take the output from here and print it to the screen with a print string expression, but if I do that, it's just going to be a number, 10, 20 or 30. there's the converter thing. So it takes out the integer value, converts it to a string, and a string is just characters. No maths is possible with string. You might say at most how many characters are there in string, and in this case it would be 2, and that's about the only maths you can do with it. This is a bit short of context, so let's make it more helpful, more useful. So we can take this out and let's build it into a string and add this little bit of information that tells us what is actually going on a bit more. If you had a number of different print strings, which are really good for error checking or for working out exactly what's being produced by your coding, then you'd want often to be able to say what precisely was happening and what that thing is. So we're going to add this integer value to a string value that's already there, which we're going to call score, or we're going to fill with score equals. So score equals, and then whatever value is coming through this, and then we return that into the int string. And at this point, we can maybe hazard a quick test. So we're not got nothing yet, got nothing set up to stop the game, but we're just showing current value for string. Okay, so if I go back up to pick up 10, and at the minute we haven't got destroy actor plugged in either, so we're just going to spawn emitter at location, and then that'll go, and we'll just be left with pick up 10. Quick check, see how this works, or whether it works. Okay, so we should be able to see something over on the left top of the screen. Okay, no results, but it's firing off at least the pickup 10. So what's not going on? Of course we're not sending any information through, so it's not getting anything. So, alright, then let's build our variable. So we need a new variable, which is the pickup score. Which is an integer, compile, and set a value for that, which will be, in this case, 10. And by duplicating this blueprint, swapping out a different static mesh, give it a different pickup value. If it's worth more, you use fewer of them. You're sort of building in a game mechanic. So I've got a pickup value made in, but what we're not doing yet is actually contacting the third-person character blueprint. So let's do that bit now. Now, to contact a third person, to contact any other blueprint, you need a cast2, and in this case it is cast2 third person character. You need to say what or whose the third person character is. It's the player characters. And then, because if you recall we've got that custom event called pickUp, if we go from here, type picked up, see in the class called third person character we have a thing, in this case it's an event, but we could also target a particular function as well, and a function is just a cluster of code that's packaged quite similar to an event. Okay, so we've got picked up, the target is third person character, and then we've got a feed in for our picked up value. So hold Control and drag on to we've got our pickup value, which is the picked value that's being sent into the third person character. And again, I'm not going to connect up the destroy quite yet. Let's compile it. Let's try it now. So we forge that link with the third person character, so the information should now ping up on the screen. There we go. And see it adding up there. Okay, so you can see quite clearly it's going at it, hammer and tongs. Okay, so let's do some refinement with, first of all, we'll knock up the destroy actor link, compile. So now whenever we use it, it's going to disappear from the screens. Okay, so now back to third person character. A couple of things left to do. The first thing is to do a comparison. So we're going to compare the value of set against our win total, which we haven't made yet. So we go to variable, call it win total. So this is what you need to do to win the game or win the level. Okay, so we'll do from here and just type equals, and out of that choose the greater than or equal to, and then we drag our win total out, drop it on the other, which says, okay, so something's happened if the score is equal to or greater than the win total. So what do we set for win total? Oh, we need to compile. So the win total hasn't a value yet. Let's say 30. Okay, let's move it over slightly, and then coming out of the print string. So the print string is proving that we're adding up correctly, but at the moment we haven't trapped any behavior. So go from the print string and do if. And if gets you branch. Branch gets you branch as well. Okay, now in this case we want something to happen if the score is set to be bigger than our win total, which is a fixed number. This doesn't change unless you type in a new value for it. But this is the conditions to go to the next level or get through a doorway, or in this case stop the game, because everything's been collected. Okay, so if this condition is true, we want the following things to happen. Okay, so we disable input, and we do get player controller. So it only happens to us. The other players can carry on. Player index 0, that's the first player. Set a delay, which is in seconds, so 3 seconds for this one. Not too long. Don't spend too much time waiting while you're testing. And then quit. Okay, so there are 3 sections to this effectively. We've got the score calculation, we've got the comparison, so if we've got to our win total, and then we've got this area which is the sort of end game actions, or go to next level, or go open a door. You choose. Okay, now I spoke a little bit before about setting up a function, and for something that you're going to use again and again, that wants to have convenient access, you don't have to wade through a whole load of code. What you can do is cast that thing into a function. You can make functions from scratch, but it's really good to find a sort of self-contained block of code and then right click and do collapse to function. Okay. New function 0, and it's ready-made the inputs and the outputs. Okay. Now, at the moment, it's just given us a rather bland name of A. So let's make this a bit more sensible. So go pick value, and this one is going to be called add to score. So we get our pick value, it's going to be added to score within this function, and it's also going to output. It's going to output the it's from the get end actually of the score. So I'm going to put score out as the name. Okay, so that's a bit more sensible. So we're getting a calculated score out, and it's still going to this build and the print, and it's also still going to be set against this win total. And all this is buried within this function, and I'm just going to call it score calc. Interesting, we have no name area for it here. Can change the name though. If we look over to under the functions, we've got our new function 0. So let's just change that to score adder, because that's what it does. And there we are. So we've got a nice self-contained bit of code that works the same way as it did before, but unless we're going to add in some sort of multipliers into this code, it's going to always work the same way. We're always going to be adding scores on, and you might say if you're going to need to do some fancy multipliers like power boosts or whatever, then they would go in a separate module that you'd have as a separate function. Now if you want to have access to your function, see the code inside and adapt it as well you might, then you select that function and double click it, and it comes open in its own, that's not really an event graph, in its own graph. And this is the construction of a function. Here's the pins, all the expressions I had before, the feed in from the score, add to the score, set the new score, and then something comes out. And if at any time you want to have the original back, then you just right click and do expand node. Problem will be with that will be is it'll now kind of swamp over a bit of network that will make things look really confusing, so I'm not actually going to do it. Have a go in your own time, as it were. It's going to compile. Back to pick up 10, that's taking everything in. Yep, that should be good. And now we're destroying the actor. Good, good, good. Okay, test play. Now we should see our one pickup object destroyed, and then we can't build up our score to reach the end game. So I'm just going to duplicate this a couple of times. I'm holding down the Alt key. And then doing the same thing again. Just going to have these in a line, so just so I can just run along and bash into all of them. Now the first one's at quite a good height, which is 105. copy that. Just oops, looks like I got more than I thought I would. Okay, just save that. Okay, so then hit the play. Now what I expect to see then is that each one will go. Score is 10. Score is 20. Score is 30. Input's gone, that's why we've gone still, and then the game shuts. So that's it. I'll just go back to the worst bit of this, which is the third person character. And just finally, before I go, you could do a bit of commenting, so it's a bit clearer what things do. So you select the things you want to comment, hit C, and then type in a comment, show what it does. And this will mean you'll just find it so much easier to know what's going on later on when you see this after having had a bit of a break from it. So likewise, just drag a quick selection over this, and this is the test conditions. Test score, and then likewise with these ones here. And this could also easily become contracted into a function, but just for now, I'll just comment it. Okay, that's it. All done.